everybody. It's Dana here, back for another episode. I have two very lovely guests today. I have Julia Erwin and Amy Fest. Hello, ladies. How are we doing?
Hello.
Hello.
All right. Before we get started, why don't we take a minute and just introduce yourselves? I think, Julia, you were going to go first and just share a little bit about you and your company and, what we're going to talk about today.
Great. Thank you, Dana. I'm Julia Erwin. I'm the Interim Dean of Graduate and Professional Studies here at Southern Connecticut State University.
All right. Awesome. And Amy?
Hi there. I'm Amy Fest. I am the Senior Director of Continued and Online Learning here at Southern Connecticut State University. And this CMMC program is under our Continued Learning program. So we're very excited here to talk to you about it a little bit today.
Awesome. And this is a hot topic nowadays. So let's go over, just give people a little bit of an overview about CMMC. So who wants to touch base on that? Most people that listen may know, but some of these contractors that are just starting to see this in their contract, they may say, what in the world is that? So let's just explain a little bit.
Awesome. I'm happy to take that one. So in 2019, the Department of Defense established the Cybersecurity Maturity Model Certification, CMMC for short. And this was designed to measure readiness to safeguard controlled unclassified information. So the idea behind the maturity model is evolving standards of compliance that can be both measured and certified. And moving forward to secure a government contract or as a subcontractor, you're going to have to pass a CMMC assessment via a certified assessor from a accredited institution or university. And we hope to be that provider for you.
Well, and this is great because this is really, I think this is the first time I've talked about with anybody that's really does the certification of some of this stuff and getting people up to speed on what they need to do to get CMMC. So let's talk a little bit about that. Let's talk about what Southern is currently doing, what they're offering, and then where maybe it's going to evolve into that kind of thing. Let's see where we are. Let's start there.
Absolutely. So I'd love to chat about that a little bit. So about a year and a half ago, we were approached by CyberDI, and we partnered with them to create some curriculum. They came to us because they were very interested in partnering with a university where they really can get some unique expertise. So we were able to bring together some of our expert faculty in our School of Education and in our computer science program. And we went out and we contracted with some people who were extremely knowledgeable and experts in the area of specifically cybersecurity. And we developed a unique curriculum for CMMC. So we have a combined really expert teachers because they know how to give the information in a very clear and understandable way, along with those individuals being also very expertise in cybersecurity specifically. So not only are you getting somebody who's really an expert in the field, but they're also an expert in how to deliver that content in a way where the students are going to be able to understand. We're also the only one of our knowledge that's in an executive format. So a lot of programs require people to take a whole week off from work, maybe travel, but our program is fully online and it's a 6-week course and it's taken over the course of 75 minutes, either during a lunch break or during the evening. So you come on board twice a week for 75 minutes. And you get to really engage in work. You don't have to leave work. You don't have to travel. So it's really convenient. So we really think that for somebody who needs to get trained, this gives them the ability to do it with an expert who knows how to really give the curriculum in a clear way, but also give it in a time frame that people can afford to not have to take a week off from work.
Well, and you just touched on two huge things. First of all, the teachers know the professors, they know how to do this so that they're going to keep people's attention, right? They know when they're losing a crowd. They know when they have to kind of shift directions. And somebody who may not be doing that out as a career may not know, okay, I need, because this is kind of dry information here. This is nothing to, I don't want to say it's not exciting. I think it's exciting, but a lot of people don't. This is a necessary evil now. But anyway, so they know how to teach in a way that people are going to retain and it's going to be entertaining or, whatever. But they also, that executive format is huge because again, somebody in the organization may say, okay, listen, Joe, you're going to be our CMMC contact. You have to go take this, course at Southern. And that person still has to do their job. They still have to, run their family. They have all that stuff to do. So an executive format is a huge, huge advantage that definitely needs to be shouted from the rooftops. So I think that's fabulous. Now, is the course online or is it in person or how does that work?
Fully online. So you can do it from the comfort of your office during lunch or your living room in the evening or whatever makes the most sense for you. Yeah, there's no travel involved at all.
Are you having a hard time finding new customers? A lot of folks just like you in the IT and cybersecurity space are in the same situation. And they have embraced a new opportunity to get new clients. They're doing this by growing their online presence and maximizing the power of LinkedIn. How, you ask? I have a tried and tested method called my Cyber Social program. I myself have been on LinkedIn and now have over 3.5 million LinkedIn views, and over on YouTube, I have over 750,000 video views. So I can show you exactly how I have done that so that you can promote your organization and become the authority in your industry. And the best part is, I've done all of this organically without one paid ad. You don't need to waste your money over on Google with pay-per-click ads. Now's the time to establish yourself. Look around. The competition isn't doing it. This is your time to shine online before they do. So if you're ready to start your online journey and future-proof your business, please, down below, click the link and schedule a time for us to have a 45-minute call where I can review the exact methodology of the Cyber Social program. You can also click below to see some of my masterclasses, which will give you quick little snippets of a couple of things you can do right away on LinkedIn that will help with your profile. I hope to see you and hear from you soon. Okay, well, that's awesome. Okay, so we talked about, your program, what makes it a little bit unique. So this is a good question for everybody, when must this be in place, or when must this compliance be in place?
So we're
Julia?
anticipating that the compliance will have to be in place this coming year. So within the coming year. Amy, excuse me, you go ahead.
No,
I'm
no, it's
sorry.
okay.
I thought you were going to answer. I'm sorry, Amy. I didn't mean to do that. Go ahead.
No, not at all. That's completely fine. I think Julie and I both could speak to this, but you know, I think yes, it's going to be within the next year. But I think what people are more underestimating is the time that once somebody is trained, they now have to come into their company and actually do the assessment. That it's going to take a lot of time and resources to actually implement what they learn in the class. So it's not just the 6 weeks class. It's the multiple weeks and months after that for them to then go back into their own organization and help them to become compliant. We've said to other people before, really having somebody from your executive suite and somebody from your training staff both take this training is important, because I think people underestimate the resources that are going to need to be devoted after the fact. So by allowing somebody from the executive suite to understand the training and understanding really the devotion the company is going to have to making this happen, will ensure that the proper resources are allocated, and the time and the money. So that's our suggestion to individuals.
That's perfect, because that's the biggest thing, is that people don't realize this isn't just a little widget that you can go back and put in place, like a lot of other IT things. Oh, well, just buy something, a software. There's so much human application that comes into play here with what people behaviors they need to do, and things that they need to be following, and policies that they have to understand and have to be established if they're not already established. So that is a huge, huge undertaking. And you can't say that loud enough, that people cannot underestimate how much that's going to take afterwards. And I think having one of the executives in the company is very, very, very important, because they may think you're being crazy with this. We don't need to do all this stuff. That's not true. And if they don't start taking it seriously, they either may not even get an assessment, because a lot of these assessors, they'll ask you a couple of questions before they even, come by for an assessment. And if you can't answer them properly, they're like, you're not ready for an assessment. And, one of the things that we were all talking about before is the supply and demand. There are so many people right now that are not doing anything. They're waiting for this final rule. And when is this going to apply to me and my contracts? And so they're not doing anything. And they don't understand what you were just touching on, that this is going to take a long time to implement within their organizations. And I don't even know how we really get that message out to really get people to really believe it, besides just keep talking about it. That's one of the reasons I even started my YouTube channel, was so people could start, finding out, because I think it's this train coming down the tracks that they're like, what's happening? And then all of a sudden, boom, there it is. So,
And
anyway.
Dana, to your point, Dana, I mean, a lot of not just Southern, but all of the different training opportunities, there's only so many seats in the courses. And so while right now we have seats in courses that people can still be taking, when we get closer and closer, and when this date is announced and everyone tries to rush, you don't want to be left as not being able to find a training provider to be able to train somebody in your company, because you're not going to be able to have some of the contracts in place for the Department of Defense, because you'll have nobody trained. This work won't have been done, and there won't be seats to be had. It's like kind of like musical chairs. You don't want to be the person left with no chair to sit in. So You are
Yeah.
right. Supply and demand. I think it's going to really catch up in a little while to everybody.
Yeah, no kidding. That's for sure. All right. So now is this going to be helpful or useful to anybody that doesn't have to abide by CMMC, just a regular organization?
Absolutely, Jana. So cybersecurity is critical regardless of industry. I mean, these are standards that are being used to protect our most sensitive national security information from outside threats. And in addition, many companies are now insuring their systems against attacks. So those insurance providers are going to want to see certified personnel directing company security. So it likely will have a direct impact on the premiums you will pay.
Yeah, absolutely. And the difference between cyber liability insurance qualifications today versus even just say 3 or 4 years ago, say 5 years ago, you wanted cyber liability insurance, your insurance agent just threw it on there. There was no checking for anything. And nowadays, because the ransomware attacks have gobbled up so much money, that they literally have a big list that you have to go through in order to make sure. And that's only going to get more and more stringent moving forward because it's like letting the kids run around the house with matches, and just insuring it. They're not going to do that. They're going to say, "Do you have any kids in the house with matches?" No. Okay, good. Now people give you some insurance. But I know it sounds silly, but we have to start taking this seriously. So anyway, well, all right. So now, how does somebody sign up for this course?
So it's pretty simple. If they just go to Southern's website, and we have a specific section of our website dedicated to the CMMC programming, there's a link right there. They can click right on it and they can do everything online. It's all virtual. They can register virtually, they can pay virtually, and then we'll send them a link to actually log into when their class is actually starting. And the website is cmmc .southernct.edu. But we're going to have you put that into the information so people don't have to write it down so quickly. But yeah, it's pretty easy. It takes 2 seconds to sign up, and classes run every month. So lots of opportunity.
Okay, perfect. So that's what's going to be my next question. So every month there's going to be a new class starting. So, okay. And then how long does the class run for? You might have mentioned that. I might have missed it.
It's okay. 6 weeks. It's
Okay.
6 weeks.
All right, perfect. So 6 weeks, and you don't have to be a Connecticut resident, do you?
Absolutely not.
Okay. All right. That's a good point for people to know too.
We're hoping for a national and even if those are interested, international reach.
Perfect. Well, that's great. All right. So now we know how we can sign up. We know how long it is. Is there anything else that we want to throw out there that I didn't mention about the course?
I don't think so. I think you hit on everything.
Thank
Well,
you
I think
for having us. We really
of
appreciate
course.
it.
I was so excited to talk about this because I think this is really a big deal that Southern is doing this, and embracing this. And I'm sure more and more schools are going to, over the next couple of years, but you guys seem to be like one of the pioneers here. So I think that that's fabulous. And the more we can spread the word that you have this program, it's obviously going to be very, very helpful and very, very necessary. So I'm happy to talk with you ladies. I'm glad we got this finally recorded.
Wonderful.
All right. Well, this was fantastic. Everybody, thank you so much for watching. And thank you, ladies, for your time. I appreciate that. And we'll see you on the next episode. Until then, bye-bye.